Hey everybody, Stu Smith here going live. I hope you are well today. Another Tuesday. That means we are going to do a CSS critique show along with taking your questions. But before we get started, while you guys congregate, let's talk a little bit about bike workouts when you cannot run. All right. I've seen, there's certain injuries that allow you to still bike. Um, while you're rehabbing some running injury, for instance. And a lot of people worry about getting slower during this period of time. And I will tell you this, I have been able to personally maintain running pace or even get faster after 4 to 6 weeks of not being able to run, but aggressively hitting some bikes and swims every day to maintain that cardio and even allow your body to heal with those two non-impact cardio activities. um so here's three workouts that I really like to do, and I've done this with countless people um who have shin splints, ankle sprains, even knee tendonitis to some degree, depending on if it, as long as it doesn't hurt to um do a bike, a pedal. Sometimes if it's an IT band issue or a knee issue, you might not want to do a CSS swim workout just because of that bigger kick. Um, so you can do freestyle and just keep your legs straight and just mix in some flutter kicks there. So that's ways you can add in swimming and not hurt knee tendonitis. But I will tell you this, you can't swim with an ankle sprain. I don't know, have you ever tried swimming with an ankle sprain? I mean, it will remind you that you sprained your ankle real quick because it just flops there, and it's just awful. Um, so biking is the answer, and there's three workouts I like to do, and I talked a little bit about this yesterday. I wrote this article right after the live yesterday, just because it was on my mind. In fact, I put most of it in the description. I don't think I could put the whole article in the description, but I put the three workouts I like to do the most. And there's probably another fourth one. If you guys have a bike workout you guys like to do, share it with me. Happy to share that amongst the group and even try it out myself. But the first one I like to do is called the bike pyramid. I'm a pyramid guy. What can I say? Um, Basically, it works like this: level one for 1 minute, every minute on the minute, you bump it up a notch, right? And sometimes if you don't have time for a 40-minute bike ride, go up to 20 and then back down to one. That's 39 minutes. Um, you can also just go up by twos, 2, 4, 6, 8, all the way up to 20, back down. You got yourself a 19, 20-minute workout. That is pretty intense. Um, so I like doing that one. That's kind of like the a warm up, max out, cool down, all built into it. So it's got some good zone two, zone 4, 5, back down to zone 2 in there. Pretty nice. And the goal is to keep it at like 80 RPMs. You can drop it down to 70 and go up to 90, but you can't. You don't want to go higher than 90, and you don't want to go slower than 70. So when you can't keep it at 70 RPMs, and there's a time in the high teens or 20s where it's really hard to keep it at 70 RPMs. You got to stand up the whole time, sweating. You got a puddle under you, huffing and puffing. It's a good workout. That's the kind of workout you need if you want to get better at running while you can't run. The other one is a Tabata interval. These are great classic workouts. Somebody just mentioned a hypoxic assault bike mimicking the 50-50 breathing pattern. That might work. I don't know how we could do that, but we could probably figure it out. Um, I'm not a big fan of running or even biking while holding my breath. Not sure why. Just doesn't feel right. Kind of used to this rhythm I get. Swimming is a little bit different story. You kind of get in a rhythm of in between your strokes to breathe. So kind of like using it for that. But we can try it. I'll give that a shot. The way I would probably do it is like maybe a 10-second breath hold and maybe a then take an inhale. 10-second breath hold, take an inhale. Um, all right. So the next one is the Tabata 20-second sprint, 10-second easy. I like to do that for the distance or time that I like to try to get for a timed run. If it's a mile and a half, 9 minutes. If it's 2 miles, 12 minutes. If it's 3 miles, 18 to 20 minutes. 4 miles, 28 minutes. So you do your Tabata for that amount of time. And anytime you need a break, if the 10-second break isn't enough for you, take a minute, just easy pedal, get back into it. Um, that's a really good one. The other one I like is the um, a 1-to-1 ratio. So do it as much as you can. I find sometimes, like later on in the workout, you may need a 2-minute rest. So 1 minute fast, 1 minute easy, and you find a good mid-range resistance in there. So, for instance, if the resistance goes up to 20, maybe go somewhere between 10 and 15. Just keep it there the whole time. 1 minute fast, 1 minute easy. 1 minute fast, 1 minute easy, and see how long you can handle it. 20 minutes is usually a great one for that. Let me see what that was a fourth one I didn't put into the article. And the other one is this is a fun one. Try to burn 100 calories as fast as possible. And let me tell you, that is a sprint because you want this also on a moderately high resistance. So you burn more calories pedaling. Um, and it's more work to pedal. You put your hands on the heart rate so it can also monitor your heart rate so it knows you're working harder. And then you get this ballpark answer of 100 calories burned. Some of the bikes will even take into account your body weight. So that can help you. If you're a bigger guy, you'll probably burn more calories per minute. Um, but yeah, it's a good one. Now, if you can burn, 100 or 10 calories in, 40 seconds, you can really um, crank out a good 100-calorie burn in, less than 7 minutes. I've seen some people do it in 5.5, which was impressive. But I like to do that probably like it's a burnout, so you need like a 5 minute break in between. I usually just sit up and just pedal, nice, easy, keep the blood flowing a little bit, and try it again. See if I can match it or come close. Typically don't. And then 5 minute break, easy pedal, do it again. I find those 3 or 4 bike workouts, spread through the week. You can do multiple a day if you wanted to. Um, can help you with your running. I saw another one up here that someone just shared. Um, 4 minute max effort, 3 minute recovery effort, 4 to 5 rounds, Norwegian protocol. I like that. Would you recommend rucking while biking? Hmm. Does that make biking harder? I mean, I guess you're pedaling heavier weight, so it could make biking harder. I would say, here's another one: biking up a hill. We have this one hill that we run. You guys probably seen me share it on Instagram on Hill Day. That's hard to run up. It's even harder to bike up. Man, it is brutal. The guys that are like broken and they can't run, they'll get on the bike and wish they weren't broken anymore because that bike going up that hill is really tough. But I don't know about that. I don't know if rucking while bike. If you want to do something hard that's non-impact, my advice would be ruck, put a backpack on or a weight vest, and get on a stair stepper. That's another non-impact leg workout you can do, and you just climb stairs with a weight vest. In fact, I wrote an article on it because I found it to be very helpful. We had this firefighter that was preparing for one of those firefighter uh, challenges. I'm going to put it up in here for you. Um, so I wouldn't worry about. Yeah, somebody agreed with me on the weighted biking. Um, with the going uphill would really suck. But anyway, check this out. I'll put this in the Instagram link as well. It just has the title in there so you guys can see. It's called "Those Looking to Join Spec Ops Weighted Stair Steps Are Useful Tool." It's up on military.com. I think you like it. Yeah, another protocol is try 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, work to 30-10. All right, I like that. Yeah, uphill biking is brutal. Cool, man. Thanks for your additions there. I like those ideas. Um, I may write another article, put it on my site with additional linking the old article from military.com and adding some of these new ones. So thank you for the ideas. We'll put that up there and I'll share them. To ruck like an Ironman would be hardcore. Yeah, I would say rucking a marathon would really suck. Then put on a ruck and bike. Um, I don't know if that's going to be harder or not, but I do know it's harder on a stair stepper. I will promise you that. All right, so looks like I don't have any more questions, but let me just close up this biking topic. Um, well, I got injured third phase at Buds. Had a IT band flare up and a PFS flare up. So both tendons on the outside of my knee were bright red. Even had an MRI. It was so bad. I had a clutch in my truck. You know, back when people actually knew how to change gears in a truck, a manual. Um, and I couldn't change gears. My left leg would not push the clutch down. It was that bad. And so they rolled me third phase about 6 weeks before graduation. Didn't get out to the island, so I did all the pre-island training, which is land nav and stuff. It was a lot of fun. So I had 2 classes to rehab myself, and I couldn't run for 6 weeks afterwards. And all I did was bike, and I was running like a 29 4-mile timed run at the time. But when I finished that little rehab stint, not running for 6 weeks, and then I started progressing again to running gently. I would do what's called bricks. I would do a bike workout followed by a run. So it's a triathlon term. If you hadn't heard it, look it up. Brick workout triathlon. It's basically a bike run combination. Really good. And I think it really helped me because I dropped my 4-mile timed run down to 26:30. And was like behind the instructors pacing, on runs, which I hadn't been all the buds. So there's a combination, I think, of some of the recovery that allowed me to build back up, but also the healing and the cardio that I was able to do with biking as well as hypoxic freestyle swimming. That's where I learned that too, and I use it still today. All right, let's share some videos, shall we? We're going to start off with a tread video I think you guys might like. Let's see how this looks. You guys can see this. I'll make this a little bigger for you guys. All right. So we're going to start off treading. And you can see here, not bad egg beater. Looks like he's got at least 75-80% of that range of motion. Now, this is a little strategy I like to teach people. Like, let's say you go for a minute with the egg beater. You're kind of new to the egg beater, not 100% comfortable with it. Switch it up a little bit. Go for a minute of egg beater, then go for a minute of scissor kicks. Now, notice where all the power is coming in from right here. See that back leg right here? That is pushing straight down. Yes, the front leg is helping too, but where you should feel this when you're doing a scissor kick tread, and notice he's changing legs every time. So he'll kick with his left leg, kick with his right leg. See that? So that's kind of like the scissor kick egg beater, if you will. It's an alternating scissor kick. The egg beater is an alternating breaststroke kick. That's all the difference it is. And if you find yourself struggling with treading, practice both techniques. And next thing you know, you're going to find yourself having a nice little strategy to kind of go back and forth so you're not burning yourself out every time. So I also tend to use a little bit of breaststroke in there. But I will tell you this, I never learned breaststroke kick or egg beater before buds. I got through buds with pure scissor kicks. Work for that. And I will share my screen again here in a second. Let me just stop what I was working on here. I'll critique this. We got an underwater swim, a freestyle, and a CSS coming up. So I'm going to share this one with you because it's very useful for groups that have to do over unders like dive school, Army dive school, uh, Air Force special ops, special warfare schools. They do these over unders, which is basically an underwater 25 and an over freestyle coming back. You can pick whatever you want coming back, but most people just freestyle it back. Um, Somebody added to another bike workout that said yesterday did a 6 by 6 minute max effort bike with 2 minute rest in between. Yeah. Whew. That's a good one. I like that. 48 minutes, you're done. Nicely done. All right, let's see what else we got. Two workouts I did. 2 minute concept ski rower, 5 minute bike, 8 rounds, 80 RPMs, burns fat, total 30 minutes. I like that. So basically 10-minute sets for 30 minutes. That's good. Nice. Oh, very well. Um, all right, let's move to the next swim, shall we? This one is a good one. She's a really good swimmer, and I will say you'll notice. Check out this. This is a very fast. And by the way, this is a 20-yard pool. So if it seems really fast, it's only 20 yards going sideways. So good kick off the wall, double arm pull, kick and recover. I personally, instead of like this right here, see how she glides here? That's really good. I also like to add in another glide. Like she glides after she pulls, and then I like to do a kick, then a recovery, and hold that glide for a few seconds. But she skips the glide after the kick. If you watch, that's a good glide there. That's a good glide. So I mean, you can't argue with the results. It's just a way to do it. I mean, I think that took her 1 stroke, 2 strokes, and you want to glide across this. You don't want to stroke across it. There's 4, 5. Looks like she's got 6. Yeah, I give her 6 on that one. Then we got a freestyle, and you'll see her freestyle solid. She cranks this out. I mean, she's looking at like what 20. She just did 40 yards in 30 seconds, so that's really good. Now watch the CSS. She's got a top arm, bottom arm kick. No, she got a little breaststroke kick. I was hitting her a little bit on her streamline glide. If you notice, it's not very. If she was on her side, she'd be like this, right? If you want to be a little tighter on that streamline, just work on that rear delt, rear shoulder posture, so you're just a little straighter. Like she's basically every time she kicks and glides, she's kind of going a little deeper with her glide because she's kind of going in this angle, kind of like swimming like a banana. Just a minor critique, but she's still good. I mean, I think she's on like a 8 minute swim pace for a 500. Top arm, bottom arm, kick. That's good. Let's see. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, pull. Nice. That's really good. Yeah, I like this. Good swim. And that let's see what the time was on that. So at she hit the wall at 30, and then she hit the wall at 107. So that's a 37-second 40. So if you do the math on that, extrapolate that out for 500, she's right at that 8 minute, sub 8 minute mark for a 500. If she gets in shape to be able to do that plenty more times. Or in this pool, it's 12 and a half laps to get 500 yards. Let's see what we got here. All right. Any other questions? What about over here on Instagram? Nope, nothing on Instagram. Um, yeah, nothing over here on. So I'm looking for article topics. It doesn't have to be a question. If there's a topic you want me to write about, put it in the comment section. Happy to do it. I probably have written about it 9 times out of 10, but every now and then I get a good topic that I can hit it at a different angle. I've written about bike workouts before. This one was just at a different angle to improve running versus just a non-impact cardio idea. Ryan says absolutely suck at running and was never good at it. Anything I can do as a beginner to get better. With running, just about everything else, lifting weights, calisthenics it requires a logical progression. So whether you're trying to add volume, mean miles per week, or you're trying to add speed, both of them require some form of progression. So what I mean by that is if you run 0 miles in a week, you don't want to jump to run 20 miles in a week. Maybe cut that back to just 5 miles in a week. Run 1 mile a day. But you'll find that's not a lot of cardio. So mix in some bikes, mix in some swimming just to get a little extra cardio. I would say, if you're new to cardio, 30 minutes of cardio is a good way to start, right? It doesn't have to be all running, especially if you're new to running, but I would say bike 10 minutes, run 10 minutes, elliptical or row 10 minutes, or go for a swim for 10 minutes. You can swim longer if you want to, if you're a good swimmer. But that's how I would handle a beginner runner, like just 10 minutes a day. And then the next week, do 12 minutes a day. Next week, 14 minutes a day. Just slowly, go like 5 days a week. It doesn't have to be 5 days in a row. It could be 2 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, 1 day off. You know, try that, see how that feels. But just be logical about it. Don't just jump into a 5 mile run one day and then you're going to wonder why your shins and feet hurt. Had a question about stretching, active versus static, before or after runs and swims. You know what? The debate is out there. Countless debates, countless studies show both work. My advice is find out what works for you. So, what I do is I tend to warm up doing the activity that I want to do first, then add in a stretch. So, for instance, if I'm running, I'm going to run a mile before I even consider stretching because my body is saying, "Hey, what are you doing? Why are you running right now?" So it's trying to warm itself up. It's good. It takes me a mile just to warm up now. I mean, I'm also 55. May not take you that long. But this morning I did exactly the same thing. We were running to the track. Takes a mile to get to the track. I run about 3/4 of a mile. I take about 3 or 4 minutes to just stretch my calves, my knees, thighs, hips, um, ankles, and then I get to the track. And then by that time, every set on the track might do a little stretch, might do some hip stretches, might do some dynamic stretches, just keeping the blood flowing in between sets. Um, and then we run back, mix in some cows, mix in some lifts, and in between those, instead of running, I'm doing some static stretching. So that's how I do it, and I find it to be very helpful. It has helped me to continue running and rucking and swimming and lifting, at 55, with progressions every year. I have a progression every year. I'll go into a lift cycle where I won't run much, and then I'll start running again. But I start slow. Like I don't go, over 15 miles a week, when I'm first starting out, because I typically still run about 10 miles a week during a winter lift cycle. So then, I'll build up to like 15 and then 16 and 17. Next thing I know, by the end of spring, I'm up to 25 to 30. By the end of the summer, I'm up to 35 to 40. So everything you need to be patient with your progression, is what I'm trying to say. Thoughts on running with a weight vest, 20 pounds? Yeah, I mean, makes running harder. I think we usually run with weight vests or rucks on the beach, soft sand. I think if you're going to run with that, try to find a place where it's a little softer on the impact. I don't like doing that on concrete, even asphalt. We'll do it on turf and grass. Maybe run the bleachers with a weight vest. Um, so we do things like that. So it's not like it's all soft ground, but we find the most mileage we do well with rucks um, and backpack or weight vest running is on the beach. In fact, this week we have a 3-mile run, 3-mile ruck on the beach on Friday. Let's see what else you got. Sit up form is catching me out. Not sure what that means. I'm scoring max on the pull ups, push ups, but mid range for sit ups. I'm UK Marine Commando. Um, that's a British saying, I assume. Catching me out. I'm interested in that. Um, work on your pace. There's an article I wrote, how important pace is for the PST. In fact, pace, PST, Stu Smith. I just Googled it. Pacing skills for better PST scores. So check out this. This is all a strategy. And I'm going to put the link right here. You won't be able to click it, but the last section is the title of the article, Pacing Skills for Better PST Scores. And it literally teaches you to learn a pace for sit-ups. My first sit-up test I ever took, I failed because I did 40 in 30 seconds. And then I couldn't get 25 in the next minute and a half to get 65 to get the minimum standard, right? So the guy who watched me do it said, Smith, you started off too fast. I saw you go and I thought maybe you'd break 120 sit-ups in 2 minutes, but no, you just died after 30. I'm like, huh, okay, so start off slower. So the next time I did that, I didn't even practice sit-ups. I did 20 sit-ups in 30 seconds. I did 40 sit-ups in a minute, right? And then I did 60 sit-ups in a minute and a half, and I got 80 in 2 minutes. So pace yourself. And then after that, I learned how to pace myself at 25, and then I got 100. So I think if you consider it the same way you consider swimming and running, where there's a pace involved with sit-ups, you're going to do a whole lot better. Try that out and let me know how it works. Recently got contracted for SWIC. Are there any lifting or things I should be implementing in my workouts beside PST exercises? Yeah, you're going to have some logs and you're going to be carrying stuff during the tour, which is their version of Hell Week. So you definitely want to have some load bearing practice. Rucking in sand is always a good idea. Chest carry lunges with a sandbag, great idea. You'll see that with a log too. But yeah, I mean, there's a level of strength and durability that should also go together with your muscle stamina and cardio endurance that you're doing for, PST exercises. It's definitely more than PST exercises. I got my SEAL contract, have about 4 months to prepare for a ship off. How can I prepare for buds now? Yes. Well, you should be preparing for buds now. Period. What's that look like? I will tell you what it looks like. Looks like this. Phase 2, 3. Get to and through selection. Prep for specific events. So that's exactly what you need to do. Prep for specific events. So you got 4-mile timed runs. You got 2-mile swims. You don't need to do this every day. Just build up to a fast 4 mile timed run. I try to get everybody to 28 and under. We got guys hitting 26s too. I'm like, hey, that's great. Just go for 28, right? And then if you want to go a little faster when you feel like you got some leg juice in you, go for it. But be able to do 28 4 miles easy, and that will put you in good stead with everything. And then 2 mile swim. I try to get a mile in 35 minutes, try to get 2 miles in 70 minutes. That's a good standard. Um, load bearing activities, chest carry, learn how to do the Sam Baby Devil Murph. That's a classic little log PT simulator, just a beat down. In fact, I'm going to put it in here. It's one of my favorite workouts I like to do, just to test people's grit. In fact, it's in this workout I just showed you too, in that Navy SEAL phase 2-3, getting to and through selection. So that's how you prepare for buds. You got 4 months. That's plenty of time. Start prepping. Read that article. It's a good one. We usually do that Sam Baby Devil Murph once or twice a month, and we check our time, see how it works. But just to let you know what that Sam Baby Devil Murph is, it's a Murph. You know what that is? It's a Devil's Mile. Devil's Mile is a 1/4 mile bear crawl, 1/4 mile fireman carry, 1/4 mile lunge with the Sam Baby, 1/4 mile. I've changed it. It used to be burpee broad jumps, but I made it into a farmer carry because some groups need to work their grip for stretcher carries. So we're do like 50-pound farmer carries. So changed it a little bit. And then the Sam Baby section is basically a log PT simulator where you just do all the log PT exercises, push presses with a sandbag, shoulder carry squat, chest carry sit-ups, chest carry lunges. So that's a good one. All right, let's see what else we got. Somebody says, try stem cells for us older guys. It works on joints. SF and athletes use it. Just do your research. Clinic costs. So far, so good. I have a friend of mine just did some stem cells, and they're doing great. Couple friends doing really well with it, like a new back almost, which is impressive. Can get good pay test numbers, maybe you mean PST numbers, when doing the events individually, but when all combined, my numbers go about 20 to 30 seconds and reps. Yeah, that happens. It's basically you're good. Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've seen people like run suck after doing the PST. The calisthenics suck after doing the swim. So you just need to start putting it all together in your workouts, right? Go swim first, do your calisthenics second, go run third, right? Learn the system, let your body get used to putting out in a swim, and don't just do 500. I mean, do your swim workout, get 1,500, 2,000 yards of swimming, mix in some calisthenics with it, right? Then go for your run, mix in some calisthenics with your run workouts, do some sets of 800s, 1 milers, and mix in some pull-up, push-up, sit-ups. That's what these programs do, right? This one, let me see. You got this one. This is phase 1, Navy SEAL, or not even Navy SEAL. It's Navy PST. Notice the difference. It's for SEAL, SWIC, EOD, diver, rescue, swimmer, SARC. So it is focused on PST. That is my phase 1. Help you get accepted, get to the training, and then phase 2-3 is round 2, where a lot of people neglect, and they get to the training, but they don't get through the training. And that's what phase 2-3 is all about, getting through that selection. Just did death by push-ups and death by pull-ups. Very hard. Yes, I like that one. If you don't know what death by push-ups is, it's a 10-minute plank. And you can start off with 5 minutes if you want, but every minute on the minute, you do 10 push ups. Death by pull ups, this is a hard one. You do 5. I try to start off with 10, but usually I drop down to 5 because it's that hard. So I do sets of 5 on the pull ups, and or actually, you do a 5 to 10 minute flutter kick or burpees. Sometimes I do burpees, sometimes I do flutter kicks. And every minute on the minute, you go 5 pull ups. So the burpee one sucks. Flutter kicks, not so bad. Um, but it does work your abs a little bit and hip flexors, which isn't a bad thing. You need to get used to working your hip flexors if you're trying to get to buds or dive school, because you will do a lot of PT with hip flexors just to prepare you for swimming with fins primarily. Hey, Stu, shipping off at the end of the May to EOD contract. I've worked good workload and like where I'm at physically. Will my fitness take a hit after boot camp? How do I stay prepared for dive? Yes, it will absolutely take a hit for boot camp if you are not preparing yourself. Now, I'm assuming you mean Navy, though using the term basic makes me doubt my assumption is correct. Navy boot camp, yes, you will get out of shape. Army boot camp or Marine Corps, that's a different story. You're probably going to do okay there. It's tough enough to kind of stay in decent shape. But Navy and Air Force, not so much. I'm assuming it's Navy. It's called boot camp, not basic. And if you're preparing for dive, then that makes sense. You're going Navy. A lot of contradictory things in that question. So yes, hopefully you can be able to get into the pool. I heard they're going to bring back the 1800 or the 800 program, um, which basically just means you work out at 4 o'clock in the morning, go to the pool with some dive seal motivators, get some extra credit workouts there. Not sure when that's going to happen. I'm not sure if it's going to be there by May or not. But yeah, you need to work out on your own. Absolutely. Wake up early, go to bed later, mix in some pull up, push up, sit ups, burpees, run in place, jump rope, whatever you can do. Stay in shape because it's hard. Going Army SF, I tend to struggle with being really good at running and swimming at the same time and maintain strength. I tend to get fast at one and the other lose the other. I just wrote an article about this too. Here's how it works. My advice is do these two things. One, warm up with calisthenics, do your lifts, and cool down with cardio, right? Now, if strength is not a weakness, okay, if you understand what that means, if you're strong and you need to work on your endurance and cardio more, your calisthenics more, my advice is maybe lay off the lifts a little bit and do more of a cycle, like a 3-week cals and cardio only, lots of reps, add some miles, put some speed in there, pace in there, and every 4th week do a lift. That's called block periodization models. In fact, all these programs here are built around that. So this is my peak cals and cardio summer training cycle, but it's 3 weeks of cals and cardio and tough, with a 4th week kind of like a cals and cardio deload where we cut the running in half, but we add lifting. That has been a great way for people to not only maintain their strength, even improve in their calisthenics and cardio. Some guys have even improved their strength in that time, especially if they just got off a winter lift cycle where we just did the opposite and we focused on 3 weeks of lifting, 1 week of cals and cardio. Yeah, look up my article on block periodization. It's a really good one. I do it in the often in the winter and the spring, and this will explain a little more detail of how I came up with that. I didn't invent block periodization. I just utilized a system in my workouts. Using this system that I have seen work really well. I'll put it over here too. So check this out. Check out this article. It's actually what we're doing right now. We are going to go in. We're going into every fourth week. We'll do a lift week, um, and a little less mileage on the runs, a little less reps on the calisthenics, and we'll just lift a little more. Brandon says, just tuning in. Just did a 5K and my time was around 37 minutes. Yeah, it's pretty good. How do I improve on my time for the next one in June? Completing the run was awesome for me, and I lost over 50 pounds this past year. Damn, that's awesome. In fact, you did that with less, um, with that much weight loss. That's incredible. That's a really good pace. Looks like I froze up over here at um, Instagram, so I'm just going to turn off over there and I'm just going to deal with you guys. Um, completing I would do this. Start adding in, no need to add any more volume, no need to run more mileage. In fact, I would probably, well, like I talked about earlier, maybe if you want to add in more cardio, maybe try some bike run combinations like every other day. Do like a 20-minute bike and a 20-minute run. um, that might be a really good way to um, might be a really good way to um, build up some cardio without adding extra volume. Because sometimes, when you're new to running, you lost 50 pounds in a year. Your joints took a beating at that beginning when you first started running. 50 pounds heavier. So sometimes extra running mileage per week isn't the right answer. But pacing is. So you got to figure out, 3 miles in 37 minutes. That means you're probably hitting, 12-minute miles roughly. And, my advice now is play around with some intervals at a 10-minute mile, right? And set a new goal for being around 30 minutes for your next 5K. So that means, when you run a track to get a 10-minute mile, you're going to run that track, quarter mile track, in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Learn that pace, right? And then your half mile is going to be 5 minutes. So it's actually a pretty easy math. No, is that right? 10-minute mile. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're good. Um, so yeah, 10-minute mile, half miles, a 5-minute mile or 5-minute half mile. Play around with those intervals. Play around with quarter mile intervals. Play around with half mile intervals. Play around with mile repeats. And then eventually you'll be able to build like a 50-50 run at that pace. So you can do a nice, easy mile and a half, and then try to negative split it and try to hit that 15-minute mile and a half. So I would say, yeah, let's try to make this next goal for your one in June a 30-minute. So drop 7 minutes off your 5K. I think that's completely doable. What's the difference between calisthenics and lifting when it comes to building muscle? I thought both could get you jacked. Oh, absolutely. Both get you jacked. The the common denominator really more is what you're eating. So if you're eating at a deficit, you're probably not going to put on a lot of muscle. But if you're eating at a surplus, eating more calories at the end of the day than you need, you will gain muscle and probably put on some few pounds of muscle. So you can do both. You thought correctly. Former football player dropped lifting and started focusing on cals and cardio with your PST phase one program. Went from 11 to 9 minutes on the swim. Nice. From not being able to swim 500 to 8:30 swim easy. Nice. Good job, Harry. I love to see that. Um, yeah, I was a former football player, weightlifter, power lifter, and I just had to put the weights up because I was strong enough, didn't need any more strength, but I was weak in calisthenics. I could get one good set of those calisthenics, but I couldn't get multiple sets. Like it would take me forever to get 100 pull-ups. I could get 20 pull-ups, but after that I just fell off a cliff. Barely could do 5, in subsequent sets. Um so I find that being very helpful. And basically I treated my cardio like a triathlete. So run, bike, swim. And two-thirds of my cardio was not impact, and being a little bit bigger guy, I needed that as I journeyed into more running miles, and then eventually, move the bike into more miles of running. How many miles should I be running per week in prep for buds? How many times we get this question? I think we get this question every day. Um, I wrote an article on it. In fact, I'm going to make you Google it because I'm really kind of tired of answering it. Buds running miles per week, and put my name in the search, and you'll see an article that says, get this, how many miles per week should you run before buds and other selection programs? Look at that little initiative. Boom. You got yourself the answer. Um, let's see. Looks like I have um, another swim here. I wanted to a really good one. Let me turn the volume off because it's distracting. Okay, CSS coming up to show you um a 7:30 pace. So 7:30 pace. Let's see what this looks like. All right, you guys can see this. So we're going to kick off the wall, good streamline. Oh, this isn't the 7:30 pace. This is a different one. I'll show two back to back. I'm trying to fix this guy's kick. And I think we need to also fix his streamline a little bit because you see he starts off nice straight streamline, but watch what happens as he glides. He kind of slowly starts. I mean, it's not very. That's not too bad. It's just I think he could be a little more streamlined. I wasn't a fan of his really big kick because it kept slowing him down. Like you see when his knee pops up. See how high his knee pops up? That's what I'm trying to fix right there. See that? There's no reason why your knee or your thigh needs to break 90 degrees with your hips or torso. All right. So he's actually creating like this, I don't know, probably like a 60-degree angle up there, which is way too high. You don't need to do that. And this is like swimming with the brakes on. Whenever you bow your back like this and bring your knee up this way, it just screws up your streamline. So you don't want to kick like that. I'm going to show you how to kick here in a second, and you're going to see a much smaller kick and a much faster swim. So the kick, instead of coming from your hips, needs to come from, yes, your legs open a little bit, but it's a whip kick from the knees down. So not a horrible time. I mean, he's going to break 9 minutes with this swim, but uh, he could definitely be a little faster. All right, let's see if you guys see. Let me see if I can share this tab instead. Oh, boom. I just switched tabs. Nice. Okay. Just learned something. Um, all right. So let me make this a little bigger. You guys will like this one because what you saw there was a 9-minute swim. This is a 7:30 swim with the same stroke. Notice the difference in this kick. Throws a little extra flutter kick in there I'm working on. I don't think he needs, but if you notice, here's why he does the little flutter kick. So he is Air Force, training for Air Force Special Warfare, and he's actually his 500-meter test is freestyle. I mean, you can do CSS if you want, but you want to score really fast. Freestyle's faster than CSS for most people. But he's got that little freestyle flutter. If you notice, it's kind of like a what I call a rotational kick. So it's kind of in timing with his left arm pull and his right leg kicks, and his left arm pull and his right leg kicks, and kind of go, back and forth like that. So top arm, bottom arm, kick. Only thing I see here is his head pops up a little too much on that bottom arm pull. Let's see if you can see it on the way back. So instead of pushing down with that bottom arm pull, I like to kind of pull in like I'm doing a breaststroke. So top arm, bottom arm, kick and glide. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, pull. Good. Yeah, that's a solid one there, man. And notice the kick. Let's go back to the kick. Okay, that kick is probably looks like he might no, he's not even coming up to 90 degrees with his thigh and hips. It's probably about 70, 75-degree angle from torso. No, that's sorry, 135. Yeah, that's solid. I like that. That's a good swim. All right, what else we got here? Got any more questions? We almost been at this for an hour. Man, time flies with you guys. So I'll tell you what, if you have a topic you want me to write about, seriously, just put it in the question, and I will look into it and see if I can write about it. I may have already done it, but I may not be my cup of tea or specialty. But ask the question or put in a writing topic, and maybe I'll do some research on it and try to come up with something for it. Especially if it's a question that affects your training now, whether you're trying to lose weight, become spec ops, join the military, be a police officer, SWAT team. I've answered some questions today ranging anywhere from firefighters, FBI Academy, HRT, special ops. So I get all types of folks, 40-year-olds that are just trying to lose weight. I've kind of been there, done that, and been writing programs for all of those folks for the last 25 years now. So, in fact, some of the guys that started off with me 25 years ago are now retired and looking at trying to rebuild their bodies so they're not hurting when they're a little bit older. So, got answers to that as well. Tactical Fitness Over 40, working on another one called the Ageless Athlete. Let me see if I can get a picture of that one. Some of you guys would be appreciative of this. Oh, I don't have it on this hard drive. I got to change my hard drive out. Um, but anyway, it's coming up. Probably take me another month or so to finish it. So, gonna get it done. I know I'm a year late. I said everybody I'd have it done last summer, but I got other ideas that I needed to create some videos for new exercises, things like that, things that I'm doing now at 55 that I haven't written about before. So I'm going to make it into the ageless athlete 50 and over crowd, and that'll be out later this summer. All right, folks, you guys got questions, StuSmithFitness.com. Check it out. A lot of articles over there. You can send me an email, Stu@StuSmith.com, especially if I missed your email. Send me a topic to write about. Happy to generate an article on that topic. And yeah, go to StuSmithFitness.com for books, programs, and see. You use Live 15, save 15%. There's one more thing I do want to share. I came up with this the other week, and this is some of my new work that I just created, um, and it's called the Tactical Fitness Course. And what this is this is just a copy of it. Fiverr hooked me up. Um, Basically, it's an 80-minute video of me talking about phase one of tactical fitness, walking you through the PST and using basically my PST clinic model to walk you through some of the strategies of busting that PST. And then we talk about phase two of tactical fitness in the second video in this series. And together it comes out to about 80 minutes of video. And you can get the audio file if you want the audio file as well. You can always send in a swim critique. Happy to critique your swim. Uh, Free training program. Basically, what that means is after you watch this, send me an email, give me some updates on like where you assessed yourself, and I'll be able to make a recommendation for what program you want, and I will send it to you. Maybe that is seasonal tactical fitness in the spring. Maybe it's phase one, Navy SEAL. Maybe it's phase two, three, Navy SEAL. Whatever that is, I'm definitely here to make that recommendation. And something I was going to add that I haven't yet, at least in the description of what you get, is I'm going to put you on my email list for a month to get our weekly workouts that we're doing here locally. We have an advanced spec ops level workout, and we have a beginner intermediate level workout that I have for folks that are just trying to lose weight and build up into the next level. So these are what we do every week, and they're different every week, but they're on my system. So you can get a free month of that. So it's not listed in there as what you get, but it's what you get. So, all right, folks, that is all for me. If you guys have questions, send them. Happy to. I'm happy to answer them. And I'll see you next week. You guys have a good one.